All right.
3, 2, 1.
Big old titties.
I guess that's how we do it. Here, New Highly Offensive, episode 12, I believe. Anyways, what's happening, folks? Fucking hope y'all in a good mood. Hope y'all in good spirits. You know what I mean? Hope.
Why does that feel like that's a big ass shot?
You poured it. I don't know. I have no idea.
I was trying to be positive and shit.
Like glass, isn't it?
It's a normal size. It's a normal size.
Yeah,
it's probably because the ice makes it feel.
Spirits, at
yeah.
least.
Yeah.
I think it's ice.
It's ice, man. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, yes. We have returned for episode 12. Here to grace your living rooms and your TV screens and your cell phones, maybe your airplays, all that good stuff. Talk about some real stuff. Try to be positive about it. You know, the world's going to shit, but we still gotta smile while we die. Because we only get one life to live, so why be miserable fucks all the time? You gotta look to the happy things. Yeah.
So how's y'all last 2 weeks been?
It's been straight. I mean, it's been pretty good for the most part. I mean, life has its negatives, but again, you only have one, so it's like you gotta be happy about the happy shit, and then the sad shit you gotta just let it go, because holding on to it just makes you.
No crazy stories, no.
Yeah, no. I mean, I got a crazy story. So I will not say any names, mention any, but I will say someone got retarded with me at my workplace, and I had to go and have a conversation in which I let them know I would not stand for the negative shit coming out of their mouth toward me and everyone else. We were not going to be their emotional punching bags.
Yeah, no, if you fuck around, you gonna find out.
You gonna be respectful up in this place of business, or you can take your business somewhere else because you can't conduct yourself that way. Nobody deserves to get beat up every day. You shouldn't just be.
So what was it that I guess set it off? Like the.
It was just a continuance of the behavior. Like
What
for
happened?
me, I'll be somewhat specific, but essentially, this individual just had like chide comments for people that were taking, you know, the customers were taking and stuff like that, and it just kept on going, and then they were like constantly berating other people with their attitude, and everything had a negative condensation, or condensation, but negative connotation, or is that connotation? But like everything, like every single word, every response, any type of feedback provided to them, they gave you negative feedback back. So it was like unnecessary, like toxic feeling workplace, because you are having a tizzy whenever you feel like it. And I get people have like issues or problems and things of that nature, but that's not for the world to deal with. You got to deal with that shit. Like, you can't take that out on everybody else. Right. You can't be like, you got to deal with it because I'm a popsicle and the world hates popsicles. Like, whatever you are, like, that's for you to deal with, not the world. I know a lot of people like, they're like, well, I have this going on with me, so the world should treat me this way. And I'm like, no, the world don't owe you shit. There's 8.1 billion of us. The world is not treating us all like sunshine and rainbows. Like 8.1 of these motherfucking peoples out here, like us.
It's how we reduce.
I mean, my thing is like the world is not set up that way, and the world is not set up to cater to what your specific ailments are. You got to deal with that shit. That's part of being an adult. And like, I don't know how anyone sees any other way differently, because that's what the facts are. You know what I'm saying? So, and at the same time, even though you're dealing with, bad shit like we all are, you don't have to take it out on the fucking world. Yeah. I've seen people upset and they just, they get quiet. That's the typical, normal, respectful response. If you're dealing with something, you just get quiet and like, okay, like.
Or you just don't even come to work.
Or you call like, hey, look, I can't, be here. You know what I'm saying? But obviously, if you don't come to work, a lot, then you end up getting in trouble for that shit too. But once again, you gotta own that. You can't keep blaming life. That shit won't change your life. Yeah. Shit ain't gonna get fixed. Like, you could do it. It just doesn't work out that way. You're gonna be blaming life the rest of your life. So,
like, for example, right? During like the height of the pandemic, I knew 2 people at work that had lost their mother, right? Mm-hmm. And I mean, that's a very, hard thing to go through. I don't know what that feels like yet, thank God. And, hopefully God spares me for that for a while. But, that's a very, painful thing to have to deal with. And one person, had the time and the money and the availability to, take like 2 weeks off of work to, just gather her bearings and whatnot.
I mean, maybe they didn't and they just did it because they like needed it. That's some big loss. Yeah. That's not like, some people be like, oh, my pet fish died. I'm going to need 4 days off. Like, nigga, what? We're having a burial. We'll kind of forever. And you're just like, nah. Like,
the other person, she only had like 3 days to, figure her shit out. And, she was back at work. When she was at work the whole time, it was just like literally to every person, just, my mother just died. My mother just died. My mother. And it was just like, I felt horrible for her, like, but then I also like started to get annoyed, like.
I mean, I know that's fact, listen, and it may sound offensive, but it's true. Like, you can't make me feel bad for you, but like, to a certain point,
nigga, like, there's nothing I can do for you in this particular moment to heal your pain. Like, I can listen.
Beyond that, nigga, you can't keep. It's gonna get like school, like mass shootings get very like numb to us because we hear it so much. So like when you're dealing with some like emotional baggage and you're looking for support, I get like, especially initially, I'm like, yo, what's wrong with you? And you're just like, oh man, my fucking pet monkey died, nigga, I'm going through it right now. Like, okay, cool, like I understand, but after you done told the 50th person that your pet monkey died, I'm not gonna, like, it hits different. It very much hits different, because if you told your mutual coworkers, man, my mom just died, it's fucking, all right, cool, like, man, he's down, he's not so productive, because, like, he's just in his head right now, like, he needs time, they do, work, family, like, I gotta look out. But when you're greeting people, yeah, my mom just died last week, so you gotta be patient with me. I know it's been 50 minutes, but it's coming. My mom died, and my burger production's down. When I put the cheddar on, I remember when she used to put the cheddar on my sandwiches.
I know all these things are fucked up things to say, but like another thing people need to keep in mind too is like how close you are to the people that you're unbagging on to. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because like if I'm not really emotionally invested in you,
you're gonna sound real crazy.
I don't give a shit, like, or not too much of a shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like some shows I only watch an episode, and I'm like,
it's a general rule of thumb that you keep your personal shit to people whose first and last names you actually know. The rest of the world doesn't need to have you unpack your shit on them, and they probably don't give a fuck. It's saving you energy. You can use that with the people that care about you, that you know your first and last names, and in real life. But even if it's your coworkers, like, all right, cool. But when you're telling every coworker, it just seems not genuine at all. Yeah. So, yeah.
What do you think about fucking coworkers?
I don't know.
I
don't know. Nice. This is a little segue.
I'm joking.
I mean,
no, I'm joking.
Speaking of fucking over people that you wouldn't be expected to, that you may have potentially worked for previously, U.S. veteran went to Russia.
Did you just pull a Biden?
You know what the fuck I said? Speaking of fucking over people that you were working with previously that you didn't expect to be fucking over, a U.S. veteran went to Ukraine to fight.
Full Biden.
Like I'm drunk.
Like I went full retard. I went full Biden.
The pools outside are getting dry because the rain came with the dust storm, and I went back to get the beer, but the dogs all took a shit in the yard. So
all the black kids were looking at me.
They're all looking at me with their eyes.
Yeah, remember when he said something about like he would let kids like pull like his leg hairs off at the pool or something like that?
It tugged at my leg hairs until I had a bald spot, and I realized then I had a problem. And I went back next week and they got the other leg. It was real shiny by the time they were done. That's some strange shit. How would you let people tug your hair away until you had a bald spot? Oh, man. But speaking of things that don't make sense, a U.S. veteran went to fight in Ukraine.
I think this makes perfect sense.
But he defected to Russia. I don't get it. I don't get the loyalty to Russia, bro.
And was like, yeah, nah, I'm out.
I mean,
who's the winners here?
A U.S. veteran went to fight in Ukraine, but has defected to Russia. I don't get why we're going out there to fight for Ukraine and then going. Well, I don't get why.
There's a bunch of Americans that are doing this. There's a bunch of bleeding heart Americans who saw these white people in danger on TV through the news and were like, "I need to go over there."
But this nigga's name is his nickname is Johnny Alabama or Bama. Bama's fighting in Russia. That doesn't even sound right. Like what?
I mean, there are some out there like
Johnny Alabama.
Maybe.
This nigga's name is crazy.
What the problem is that, right? Like, these motherfuckers went over there to go fight on the losing fight, right? So, like,
but look what he said, nigga. He said, "God bless Ukraine and fuck you, Russia." And then he switched sides. It literally is the quote.
Again, he was used to being the winning side. He was part of the U.S. You know what I mean? Like, he was a veteran. Then he went into Ukraine, who was getting their ass whooped, and was like, "I'm out."
This nigga's
y'all ain't got no tanks.
He's a 25-year
no drones. What kind of bullshit war is this?
Do you see what they wrote about this? They painted a picture of a troubled man who at least once excessively drank alcohol whilst fighting and urinated in an army vehicle, defaced Ukraine guard post, and was eventually barred from handling weapons because he was deemed a danger to himself and others. This nigga, like, what? And Russia took this nigga? Like, I'll be questioning their morals. Like,
better him over there than over here in our streets.
I mean, that cannot be agreed upon more. I don't want that nigga defended.
Went up crazy at, like, Publix or something.
How ham do you have to go for them to take away your weapons, deem you a danger to yourself and others? And while you pee in the vehicle, you got a dick, you can just go out and pee on the side of the road, nigga. Like, what are you doing?
Like a bottle.
Pass me a bottle. Yeah, something, nigga.
You know what I mean? Like,
he urinated in the vehicle. They made a very specific.
Like, sir, we have to ride in this later.
I'm taking a piss in my pants. I can't do it. That's like fucking, I forgot that dude's name, but from Talladega Nights. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm.
Oh, God. The one that was like, I'm on fire, Ricky Bobby. That's some shit Ricky Bobby would do. I can't wait any longer. I gotta go in my pants. Like, nigga, it's around the corner. I'm going in my pants. This nigga's fucking crazy, bro.
But,
oh, man.
Nah, this motherfucker's still, like... And he's not going to be the only one. Like I said, there's plenty of Americans out there in Ukraine right now. The problem is, you know what I mean, like, they're fighting this fight that they have no chance of winning unless America goes to go fight, you know, like, for Ukraine. And
I mean, I get that.
That would be like World War III. You know what I'm saying?
So why are we? I get. We're trying to strategically protect ourselves by ensuring that this nation that's next to Russia can't become a powerhouse or a launching port for Russia. But realistically, honestly, specifically, I don't think that we pose.
And I was gonna say, my bad to cut you off, but conspiracy time. You know what I mean? This is highly offensive. What if this dude's a double agent? What if our federal government paid this dude to go to Ukraine, fight this fucking war, switch sides, join Russia, and then now he's fucking leaking out information? You know what I'm saying?
This nigga's name is Johnny Alabama. I wouldn't put it past him. Like, anybody, I don't know whose mother.
I'm just saying.
I know his last name ain't really. Somebody changed names somewhere. This nigga's name is Johnny Alabama.
All I know is
that's like the most American shit I've ever heard in my life, nigga. You can't get more American than Johnny's Appleseed. And his last name is a fucking state name. Alabama, nigga.
He sounds like somebody stupid.
Yeah, he does.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, someone who you would not expect to be a spy and be leaking information.
I mean, he pissed on himself in the vehicle and think he can handle a firearm and he's in the goddamn military. Yeah, that nigga's either a double agent or a fucking crazy motherfucker. But either way, glad he's over there. Hopefully he's giving us some information on the drones so we can,
prepare for this war that we're going to have in a couple of years.
Yeah,
Which another thing, right? Like, the Pentagon announced that they need money for this war with China in 2 years. It's like, why are you telling our enemies the timetable for the attack? Like, it's essentially like you're saying, like, hey, we're not strong enough to fight right now, but in about
we'll come
2
back
years,
in a few years.
You know what I mean?
We're gonna be well worked out by then. Barring no wars.
We'll have our beach bodies ready. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like, if I was fucking China, you think I'm waiting 2 years for you to amass your military and all that shit? Like, all the money? No.
What,
we're nuking you, like...
Highly offensive time. What if the Chinese were actually aliens, and this whole time that we owed them the debt, the money that we owed them was for the technology they sold us, and the planes we found were actually their ancestors trying to figure out where they dropped their cousins off?
I don't know if this was racist, or if, like, you're really going somewhere.
No, I'm really like, what if they came in and they did the alien human shit,
but, like,
and they're like, hey, I'm gonna install people that will make sure that, you know, our things are pushed forward. Maybe the natural resources are their thing. Maybe that's what they need, and we might think we're using it for cell phones, but we're not really using it for cell phones. We're using it for like spaceships and shit. It might be. All this could be like a political ploy. Because there was like all these years we never looked up at the sky. Even when we had cameras and we saw shit, we was like, oh no, you didn't see that. Why all the emphasis to shh, don't talk about that, dude. Like, why? Because like people can get information off the internet if they want to. If they're like fighting with these like people and they're like, hey, they might be, maybe they are, maybe some of the people are. I'm just fucking around, obviously. I don't know that for sure. I'm just saying.
But for me, like, I mean, I think that there's definitely something weird going on because, right, like, 150 million people use TikTok, right? And these motherfuckers is just automatically just trying to ban this shit now.
Well, I know why. I get it makes sense because their basis for wanting to ban it makes sense. Their arguments are fucking laughable. Their shit is hilarious. Like, you heard the dude saying, do you use the Wi-Fi to connect to the internet with TikTok? And he's like, if you're at home, yeah. And he was like, do you have access to that Wi-Fi information? And like, it just tells you how stupid people are when it comes to information technology. Like, obviously,
well, not just that, but it's also hypocritical when you're so worried about TikTok and foreign influence.
Yeah, they do. And every fucking other company that has an app in the App Store does. Every single one gets information from your phone. Like, it's not new.
Right, like, why is it then the government cracking down so hard on TikTok, right? So
well, I get why now. Like, from a security expert standpoint, they do in China, like they probably do it in America too, and every other civilized country. They have the state government fund certain corporations, and they act as like double agents, and it's like a factual, real thing. The NSA does it. China does it. They literally have companies that they buy, like, you know, that are really the government, and then they actually infiltrate other countries through, you know, those resources. So it's not that their argument isn't valid, because it factually is true. Yes, companies do that. Yes, TikTok could do that. They did it with what's the name? That other phone, the phone they banned. That company, I forgot the fuck their name is, but you know what I'm talking about, right? That's the company that couldn't come to America and their phones couldn't be sold here. Hawaii.
Yeah.
Those niggas were bought out by China. They was proven to be owned by them, and they started installing like 4G backups because the backups were going bad. So they were going there doing this service work on these, like, you know, network towers and putting like little packs to send back information to themselves to help upgrade. They said, hey, we'll upgrade them for free. And they were literally working for China, installing, you know, like trackers and information to get information from the networks that we access with our cell phones. So like when they say, hey, like, we want to ban TikTok, I get why you want to ban certain companies because of shit like this, because it does happen. In the same regard, TikTok doesn't gather any more information than any other company. And there are a bunch of other companies that work in different countries, so it's hypocritical to go after TikTok and not go after Facebook for collecting information and sending it back to the government or anything else.
The information that's collected so much, right? Like, I think it has to do with money. Like, they're not getting their, you know, monies being greased for these politicians.
But their arguments were that
not just that, right? But what I think what really matters is the information that's being transmitted through the TikTok videos, right? So like you remember how last week we were talking about China, how they had the dinosaur island. You were like, I don't believe in that because China, you know, censors the state media. If the people don't even have access to the, you know, actual information, how can we then trust the Chinese government for anything that to be honest?
True,
right?
yeah.
So, and essentially that's what our government is trying to do to us. Our government is trying to censor TikTok because of the information that's being transmitted.
And it's very it's their argument was that in their country, in China, they show XYZ images because they want to uplift the population, and in our country they show like dumbass videos and stupid things.
Yeah, but that's not true because TikTok is banned.
But no, I'm just saying the U.S. government's argument is that. So I'm like, all right, that's your argument, cool. But they do that with other apps too. They do that with other streaming shows. You go on Netflix, you can't watch what's in Germany unless you use a VPN. But I'm getting ahead of myself because we're going to talk about that later. But what I'm saying is, their argument's a fucked up argument. It's stupid. If there was actually a company that you could prove is owned by China, then do it. They're saying we want to ban you because you're owned by China and you're doing this, but they have no fucking proof. You get what I'm saying? That's what I'm like, you're full of shit. Because whenever we actually have proof of some shit happening in the United States, nothing happens to that person if the U.S. doesn't want it to happen. So don't tell me you don't have proof of this company you want to ban doing these things you're saying they're doing, but you want to ban them solely off the fact that they get information from your Wi-Fi network. That doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, and I call bullshit when I see bullshit. Now, like Hawaii, I get that. Like, you're literally putting phones in. And then TikTok is literally an app.
Well,
so like,
and with TikTok, right? I think what's scary, one of the things that I will admit is scary about TikTok is how good the algorithms work.
It's not that. I just say like, if you're going to go after TikTok for the sole basis of it feeding information to another country, then you need to do that to all of the apps.
No, but what
you
I'm
can't just say, hey, let me not let you get information. Everybody else will get information anyway. If there's a Facebook in China and there's a hub in China and it connects to all the other Facebooks in the world, they're getting information from the United States, their Wi-Fi, everything that they're complaining about. So it's like stupid to go after one app.
But the problem is that 150 million users, right? Not just that, but average 2 hours of screen time on this app. You know what I mean? Not just that.
Well, it's probably like one person spending like 10 hours on the app, and that makes it skewed. But
when you
I
think
get
of
what you're saying.
Like how much
there's only
like,
350
your work day,
million of us.
how much you sleep, how much you spend time. Like for the average user, 13 and up, to spend 2 hours a day.
I mean, they do that on. I know they do it on Facebook.
On just TikTok. Like before Facebook, when Facebook was huge, Facebook was getting a decent amount of, you know, but Facebook's not at that level no more. TikTok is the new thing.
They're still out there.
No, Facebook is still out there. But it's not as huge. Like when I say like TikTok is the thing, TikTok is the thing. Like, especially if you're a content creator, no one gives a shit about Facebook or Instagram anymore.
I mean, I disagree.
Like,
there are literally
relics.
Nah. Facebook has like literally like 5.5 billion active users. There's only 8.5 billion people in the world.
But Facebook doesn't have the algorithm. The algorithm that TikTok
they have
is
the advertisement.
So good, it keeps you on there.
Nah, nigga, no. There's a reason why there is a Mark Zuckerberg, and there's a reason why their CEO for TikTok or whatever is not. He's not Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg literally doesn't
stole the shit off someone else.
It don't matter, nigga. He's a billionaire. I'm not saying he's a god. I'm saying we're talking strictly profitability. Is anyone talking about banning Facebook? No.
They used to.
They did. No, it didn't. This nigga's making headsets and shit. That's what I'm saying. No, nigga, nah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
because he gets fucking ad money because Facebook's a fucking thing, nigga. That's what I'm saying. They're always gonna be a thing. They're not gonna do shit to Facebook. Facebook has them by their fucking balls. They can't care because they can't do shit about Facebook.
Facebook is propped up by the fucking
Facebook is Instagram, Oculus Quest, and Facebook. They're doing perfectly fucking fine. And I guarantee you, no one will ban a Facebook. It'll never happen. They got Facebook in Saudi Arabia.
Really, when the politicians threatened to ban TikTok, fucking, you know what the people did? The people went to fucking to leave 1-star reviews on fucking Facebook's like on the Play Store. They dropped Facebook's value. Like literally, this is like the movement.
But we all still use it though. We all still use it. It's still like the central hub.
Open. But the question is, how much time are you spent glued to Facebook?
But that's not the question. How much money are you spending on TikTok? The money is what matters. Because TikTok can perpetuate.
It's about attention. It's like Netflix. How long can they keep you glued streaming on?
But the reason why, the reason why they want you glued is because they want to advertise to you. They don't want you staring at a screen just simply because
Netflix.
You're not. You're subconsciously seeing ads. It's all about ad revenue. That's how those companies are built. They're literally, these social media companies are advertisement companies that sell you shit. You don't even fucking realize it. That's how it works.
Sold me nothing though. I haven't purchased anything.
I don't know where you get that.
Black Rifle Coffee. Where the fuck you get that idea? That
the what?
That Mortal Kombat app.
Mortal Kombat app.
The one that you were like.
Everything in social media is literally ad revenue to sell to people.
I did not.
If you hear about something, back in the day when you bought some new shit, it was because you saw a fucking commercial, right? Now when you buy some shit, it's because your coworker saw it where? On fucking Facebook or Instagram. Everywhere. They are the new commercial television.
No. The only reason
they are. Like, you wanted to go to Devil's Cave, remember? Why? Where the fuck you see it at?
I don't know.
Facebook, nigga. I guarantee you saw it on Facebook.
Probably because they listen to her conversations. And
maybe, but that's what I'm saying. They are the new fucking commercial people advertisement shit. I guess they are.
I'm not going to discredit their ability to sell some shit.
And that's what I'm saying.
I don't give a shit about that.
That's the importance of their position though, because that's why they wouldn't get done like TikTok's getting done. Like TikTok is perpetuating information and knowledge. But the source of that information and knowledge is the question or the issue, because in their country, they only show educational shit to their kids, and they have a time limit, and it's an hour long, and they can't see any of the material that we see. The danger in showing everybody the material that we see is like anybody could upload anything, like all the alien videos, all that shit. So there's a danger in that inherently for the national security risk, right? Because things can come out that should be classified or that they believe should be classified.
But if you're also, like, let's say manipulating a war, like let's say attacking
that's part of it.
Pipelines,
it's social engineering at its finest, nigga. Yeah, you're gonna watch what we want you to watch. Now you can see the influence in Facebook and the government, because the government's telling Facebook what is okay and what's not okay to put out. They're doing it with Twitter. They're doing it with every other social media company. So I can have some type of, okay, I understand TikTok is allowed to do their own thing, and they're threatened by that because they are the new wave. If there's 150 million users, there's only 350 million Americans. Yeah, but so that's half of us, almost half of us, to be 25 million off.
I would think it behooves the government to allow Twitter and Facebook.
Hell no, nigga. No. No.
Because you literally have your profile of everyone in the whole fucking world who uses this, what their thoughts are, how they think, all their photos.
You would think, but people could lie to you and say, "Hey, I'm this person," and not really be that person. Like all those. Remember the topic we covered when all those religious websites on Facebook were actually not really religious websites. They were from a different country, and they were all being sold as like Christian pages, but they weren't. It was some fucking hacker that made everybody believe, and not like one person. Millions of people, all these pages and subscribers. So like you can pretend whoever the fuck you want to be on Facebook. That the value is in what we could sell you and what image we can create for whatever I'm pushing forward. So you know, the niggas wanted them Jeffrey Dahmer shades because fucking whatever designer put them out and said they look fly. Those are some serial killer shades, literally. And they got popularized from Netflix. All of that advertising went in through Facebook. I found out about different series coming out. GTA 6 leaks. All of the information, it's like, hey, those are the fucking puppeteers. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe that TikTok's this grand puppeteer that they believe it to be.
No, I don't think it is at all. But what I think is important to them is how much time we spend on it, because of because, for example, right, if you have events, right, like let's say there was a giant fucking UFO mothership that were to show up at the fucking Pentagon type shit, people could go on live, transmit this across the whole world in a way that couldn't have been done before.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they could do it. They can, but they're known for like cock blocking people. Like Facebook has shown that the government can control them and tell them what is able to be put out.
Doesn't TikTok automate like the videos that we do here?
It depends. Like they have moderators.
Where they just now found out about TikTok is, one, the things that go viral, it's manufactured. So they choose what goes viral and what doesn't. Like, that's why our shit goes into the fucking recycling bin, and fucking some people, you know, petting their dog gets 8.5 million likes. It's just the way it works, right? Because
they work the algorithm too.
They want it to be a certain way.
Yeah,
right?
Not a long form conversation. They want like a snippet, 30 seconds, something you can keep looking at, so they'll get 1 million views.
But they also know that certain things get like are gonna be like, let's say like the UFO shit, right? Because that's popular right now because of the Congress having these meetings, fucking all this different stuff happening. People are paying attention to it, so now people are starting to record it, posting it online, which now like it kind of like is forcing the government's hand. Like you would never see, like Roswell happened 1947. And for 70, 80 years, these motherfuckers were like, nah, they weather balloons. Nah, they this shit. And then all of a sudden, like, a couple of people started recording UFOs, and then they're declassifying videos, like naval videos from aircraft pilots fucking seeing UFOs go underwater and shit. It's like, well, y'all weren't doing this shit for the last 80 years, so why the fuck are y'all doing it now? And I think a giant part of it is because these videos are being spread so fast. There's no way that they can stop the momentum and the information from getting out. So it's like, unless you can ban the app. You know what I'm saying? If you ban the app, then if something were to happen, you can then, hypothetically control like how that information were to flow out. You know what I'm saying? Like if you don't want, like let's say East Palestine, Ohio, people start dropping left and right, you know what I'm saying, because of the fucking water, but you don't want the general population to fucking know. You just throw out all that information because there's no TikTok. You know what I'm saying? And even if they post it on Facebook or Insta or Twitter, you can just manipulate the feed. You can just pay Zuckerberg to fucking, you know what I'm saying, like reroute people's attention so it doesn't, show up on their shit. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what I mean. What's dangerous is when you can't trust the media, and when people go to these things like TikTok. For the news, I mean, which is it's completely unreliable to be doing such a thing, but at the same time, when that's more reliable than the actual news, and now they're trying to take that away,
it's kind of I mean, it's foreshadowing. It's bad things that can come. Speaking of bad things that coming, nuclear power plant in Minnesota leaked 400,000 gallons of radioactive water. I actually did a paper on a nuclear plant in Florida leaking radiation into the Biscayne Bay. It was adding salinity to the bay and killing off the marine life. What I found deeply disturbing is that when you research nuclear information, you are cock-blocked for large swaths of time. Like, for instance, I couldn't find anything from 1970 to the year 2009 about a power plant in Florida, but this plant has existed that entire time, or that length of time. It's just that there's no information. The reports looking up the records of them being inspected as they're required to be inspected are very hard to find, and the access to them.
If they're been leaking and you don't want to know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So I had to dig through scholarly articles, get references, and try to find the information on what the inspections looked like for this nuclear facility, if there were issues, if they reported anything, because they just don't tell the general public. But what I found was that there was a fuck ton of radiation leaking out, as far as like, not necessarily radiation was like being captured, but the water that was leaking out was raising the salinity. It was making the water more brackish, So like the sea life was dying off, and then the people didn't have any weird ailments or anything. It just fucked with the water, that fucked with the groundwater supply, and they couldn't disprove it. But they needed the facility for the cheaper energy, so that still runs to this day. But they had like issues, like when they got hit by storms and shit. They couldn't really reaffirm it like how it was originally designed to be, and there were leaks and things of that nature because like it got hit by a fucking hurricane and there was nothing they could do to fix it, and the way it was designed wasn't to handle that. So like even though these nuclear facilities are they say they're green, but they're not, because they do this, you know what I'm saying? They're green in that you're not using coal to run the plant, but at the same time they're not green because they have these negative side effects that you can't circumvent or control. So like, and then once that area is devastated, there's nothing you can do. So things like leaks and spills, it's been going on since before we were alive. You know what I'm saying? You look up these stories of these people that have different things occur, like realtors sell them land knowing the land's contaminated with something that won't kill them for like the next 30 years, and the whole population gets sick. They have deformed children. Eventually somebody gets smart, calls a fucking scientist. They come over there, test the ground. Oh, this shit is, they dumped these chemicals here all these years ago, and they thought everything was good. They moved everybody in, everybody got sick, and there was no way you can get rid of it. I forgot what town it is, but they did that in like New York.
It happened over in Japan after Fukushima.
It happens everywhere. This is what these governments do.
The government was saying like essentially like, hey, it's okay for you to move back into these towns.
It's all good. The radiation is. We picked it up, bro. We just fried eggs out here. Nothing crazy.
People were bringing like the Geiger test to test the radiation. And it was like the radiation was like 10 times what the government was saying it was.
Oh my god, I'm sorry.
Like, it was just
crazy.
Same thing with Chernobyl. I mean, it has effects that are pretty lasting on the population, the animals.
It's fucked up. It's another case of the government lying to its people about the dangers of being in those areas. Like, they shouldn't be able to operate next to populations in case of things like that. Like, that they should consider nuclear fallout and them failing when they have like that shit set up, and it shouldn't be next to any water supplies. It's just hard because there's groundwater everywhere and it can travel anywhere, so it's very difficult to circumvent that kind of thing without actually having them be remote. And then the purpose of them providing power is kind of like moot at that point because they're so far away they can't really get the energy to where they need to do. But they should. I mean, they are working on ways to make better nuclear facilities. I can't say they're not, but most of them haven't been built in over half a century.
Yeah.
They haven't been building new ones.
The thing is, though, it's so coincidental with all the other chemical spills going on. Like again with the East Palestine shit, the other train derailments, the fucking the dam that was leaking like vinyl something. I mean, there's like a lot of places that are just leaking chemicals all across the country, and it's like, what the fuck do you think is gonna happen to us in about 20 years if everywhere we go everything is contaminated? The water, the wildlife, the vegetables.
I mean, we're all
air.
fucked sideways. Like, that's what's gonna happen. Like, it's not gonna be a good thing. We're gonna be in a bad situation fast, and there's nothing we can do to avoid it because the people that control the world, they're letting it rock. Like, that's what's been happening.
And then they're also, in control, like Bill Gates. You know what I mean? Like buying out the farmlands and then fucking telling people, the cancer patties. You know what I mean? Like telling it, we're gonna grow this into your food. We're gonna put the this stuff into your food and shit. And there's that's just what all there is. And hey, I also believe that we should depopulate the planet through vaccines. You know what I mean? Like, and then he funds them. You know what I mean? Like, there's just like so much shit that I've talked about before. So many pieces I play, but like the question is like, at what point does like, do you wait until like the side effects kick in before like you try to like get at the root of the problem, or you know, do you start? Like,
that's usually what happens. Like people, shoot. Kayla was just telling me they fucking Tylenol thing with pregnant women. Like they told them for the longest, like that's the only thing you could take, and then they find out that Tylenol is potentially causing autism in children. So like it always happens that way. Like it's always been that way. Fucking remember girls. Well, when I was growing up, girls would perm their hair, only to find out like when they got older, like okay, perming your hair over and over again makes you lose your hair. You know what I'm saying? Instead of the texture that you're going for, now you're gonna have no fucking hair. You know what I'm saying? Like it happens in society, but with this type of shit, it happens in mass because like you know who's running the fucking world. So
I just never seen so much shit like this happen back to back. Like they're literally saying there's a chemical leak in the U.S. every 2 days.
Yeah, and it's because of fucked up the problem is infrastructure, but it never gets fixed. But speaking of things that fucking are surprising, astonishing, and never happened or seen before in our lives, former President Donald Trump is being indicted or has been indicted by a grand jury in New York. This post from like when he's getting threatened to get indicted. But like my thing that the reason why that's kind of stupid that he's posting, hey, I'm being threatened to be indicted, means that to me it means that he knew or had information that he was going to be indicted. So somebody contacted him, hey, we're going to arrest you. So he was aware of it, but it's like he's trying to piss people off.
Nah, he sold merch.
You that's what I'm saying. He sold merch. That's what I'm saying. But at the end of the day, the people that bought that merch, like, hear me out. Don't be mad, but this is facts. A grand jury means a bunch of people reviewed evidence in secret and said, based on this evidence, this person is able to be indicted. Not just that, the district attorney, also the judge and the prosecutor. You know what I'm saying? They're all, you know, the district attorney's prosecutor, but basically the district attorney's office and the prosecutor all are in agreement with this group of people that they had the subpoena in, and they all reviewed this information and they said, based on this, what you did was criminal. So it's not just like people always say, well, it's political. It could very well be political. They grabbed the citizens of New York to look at that information because that's what a grand jury is, and they said what you did was criminal. So like, the issue where they're like, oh, you can't indict a sitting president is a political move. The Justice Department, if I'm not mistaken, when it was Republican, or it is currently still Republican in some parts, are saying that a sitting president or a not sitting president was able to be indicted first before this happened, because that's the part that people skip over. I'm like, no, they said it was okay for it to happen from the Justice Department, because if not, the district attorney who works for the Justice Department wouldn't be able to prosecute them as they weren't before. You know, when they're like, oh, you can't do it to somebody that's already in office. All right, cool. Well, he's out of office. He paid a fucking prostitute, or not prostitute. He paid a porn star to
hush money.
Hush money to say, hey, this, you know, this never happened.
For what would he do?
Well, they had an affair, and then he paid her through the campaign funds.
Nice.
That's the issue.
Yeah.
So like, it's not that he fucked a porn star and said, hey, yo, I'm running for president. Shut the fuck up, bitch. Take this $50,000. He took he took the money that his bleeding heart fucking rightist gave him and said, hey, bitch, I know my dick was in your mouth. Put this in your mouth. It's from the people. And say nothing. And that's what he did to get, not to say that he did that to get elected. It's just that doing that in itself is illegal. Like, if I went and bought a Mercedes for my girl because I'm running for mayor, that's illegal.
Now, he admits to paying the money,
but where he paid it from is
her. Says that she's a horse face.
Did he take a look at his face?
Said a horse face. This nigga's neck look crazy. All right. But yeah.
Now, honestly, realistically, this is light compared to what's Hunter Biden's.
I mean, but Hunter Biden's not the fucking president of the United States. There's a big ass difference. I don't give a fuck about Hunter Biden.
That is, and who's helping him make that money, and with all the people that's in play, like Ukraine.
Negro, this happens to all types of people.
Fucking a stripper and paying off with campaign funds is fucking.
Nah, nigga, nah.
Now the question is, right? Are they doing this to make a martyr out of Trump because he's going to rerun in 2024? Because again, when he told people, hey, he put this message out saying I'm about to get arrested. People donated like what $1.5 million to his fucking to his GoFundMe.
GoFundMe.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Then after he was indicted, he sold T-shirts that said "I stand with Trump," and people could only buy the T-shirts.
Isn't he like a millionaire?
If they donated $47.
So why are people donating money? People are stupid. I'm gonna donate money to someone who like
got money.
More than got money, got properties, fuck you. I work way too hard at where I work to sit here and donate my money. Fuck.
Well, these motherfuckers are paying. You know what I mean? Like
That's
gladly.
crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Like
that's crazy. And what do we get back?
But and again, when you've made a martyr out of him, and
he's not dead yet.
No, a martyr in a sense, like a political martyr. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're trying to, because it's a well-known fact that there's shady shit that the government does, especially presidents. Like
all
Obama,
governments.
Like, I know, like, people keep trying to say, like, Pizzagate ain't real, blah, 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 blah. Look, that motherfucker was part of it. Like, let's be real. Podesta, Clinton, all these motherfuckers went into some wild shit, right? So we all know that they... And even like, let's say not the wild shit, like George Bush, 9/11, Iraq War, like we can throw some war crimes at that nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, but because he was a president, it's like you're supposed to get like this kind of grace where it's like you get out of office and it's like, yeah, we know you're a war criminal, but go retire in with your family somewhere. And Trump was not given that grace. You know what I'm saying? So now because he wasn't, and he's still also able to rerun, now it just kind of emboldened his fan base even much more than before, where the other day he held a rally and there was like 50 people. You know what I'm saying? Now they're galvanizing, this support for him again. And it's like even the Republicans that were shitting on him are now standing in front of him. And,
yeah, because like this, if it's like a double-edged sword. If it hits, then they got what they wanted, but if it don't, like, then he's very electable. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the issue. But what the problem in all of this fucking bipartisan like stupid shit is that you like what he did was wrong. You know what I'm saying? And I think that gets missed in all of this other shit. He was a politician that paid a citizen with other citizens' money to shut the fuck up so he can get elected. And that's all that should matter. The rest of it is bullshit. He got caught, fuck him. Like, sorry.
But I mean, in the long scheme of things, do you really think it's that bad of a thing, of a crime?
Yes. If you will take, yes.
Like your money, my money.
Yeah.
I don't donate to those motherfuckers.
The same person that's saying, the same hypocritical person that's saying, the government takes your money, they don't give a fuck about you, is doing the same thing. Yeah. Fuck you. You want to run the entire country that way?
I'm saying, but like, what if he had like some leftover? You know what I'm saying? Like,
nigga, we're all paying more. We are all paying more taxes from the same nigga that didn't pay taxes.
He also gave stimulus.
We literally are paying taxes for the stimmy, nigga. We discussed this.
You tight.
Hell yeah. This nigga said, let me lend you $2,000, but I'm gonna raise your taxes for the next 5 years after I lend you $2,000.
Sound like a shark. You know what I mean?
Sound like he shouldn't be the fucking president if this nigga's not even paying taxes. That's some hypocritical shit. That's what I mean. How can we trust a hypocritical motherfucker like that? Imagine that shit if your boy was like, yo, rich out of his ass. And you're like, man, I'm broke. I don't know how to do it. Man, I don't know. I don't pay them taxes, bro. Like, I'm always good. And he's straight. And then he lies about, how he uses the funds that he gets from the people that actually do give a fuck about him. That's not that he fucked over everybody else that didn't believe in him. He fucked over people that said, man, I know, like, I believe in you. He fucked those people over because he fucked somebody. And he gave their money that they barely have, right? Because he ain't paying fucking taxes.
But
they gave their money to him, and he said, "Here, bitch, shut up. This never happened."
If he didn't pay that?
But that's my thing. He did though.
No.
He admitted he did.
Just listen to what I'm trying to say, right? What if he did not pay Stormy Daniels, right? And then this thing would have tanked them. Then he doesn't make it into office, and he lets down his billions of supporters. $135,000 to pay to some whore seems like light work to ensure you get into the presidency.
Yeah, but the issue that I have is that you are a motherfucking able, capable, and well provided for millionaire. You could have done the same fucking thing with your own money.
He's going
but
bankruptcy like
that's how little you think of your fucking people that you would do that. Because even the United States government president gets like $400,000 a year after they're done for life. He said, "No, I don't want that money." So he has enough money to not get $400K a year forever.
He donated his whatever money
he said, "If I get a salary, I'll donate it."
Yeah.
That salary is what 130,000 is what 1/3 of what he would have gotten in the salary. So he's like, "Oh no, I don't want that money. It's okay." But he'll literally take, I'll pay it back. But he'll take the 130K from the people and pay some hoe just to be like, "Hey, we weren't together." Like, if you're that vain, pay your own fucking money. Don't take from the people that like believe in you and want you to be president to pay some bitch. Like, I'm sure they wouldn't be okay with that.
I mean, I just think that this is something that people do all the time, whether it's pastors with like the Joel Osteen.
Fine.
And all
cool.
Like,
but he's the fucking president, though. It's a big difference, son. It's not the same. It's not Joe Schmo. What do you think was
happening when Marilyn Monroe was around? When she was sucking off JFK?
Marilyn Monroe did not control 350 million people's lives. Like, that's a big difference.
Bitch, shut up, take this money. She did, and then like, pop, took her down. That's all. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
the same reason why we don't want Joe Biden to be a president because he's fucking crazy and retarded is the same exact reason we don't want this nigga to be the president because he's crazy and retarded, and we shouldn't be attached to either one of them. And we should be able to say that comfortably. You're a dumb fuck. You're a dumb fuck. And you shouldn't be in the fucking running 350 million people's lives.
Well,
you just shouldn't do it.
To choose from.
Well, I'm saying you know what I mean? Like, somebody needs to figure it out, okay? What I'm saying, that we should have more choices than these two old motherfuckers that are crazy. Clearly, this nigga's off his rocker. Clearly, the other motherfucker's been off his rocker. So it's like, they're not good choices. There are a lot of smart people in this country. We should figure something else out. There are plenty of other people they could elect. They should figure something else out. I don't like him, but he's better than this motherfucker. He's not good for overall. Because the issue I have with DeSantis is that you can't push your fucking religion onto everybody and make that the infrastructure for the country. The whole purpose and the reason for this country is to have freedom from religious persecution. But that also means that you can't instill your shit onto my kids. That's not fair to me. You know what I'm saying? And that's taking away my freedoms. The same freedoms that you're saying that they're trying to take away, you're trying to take away from other people with your ideology. No one should have to conform to anyone's ideology if that's the basis and sole purpose of this country coming into existence. If everyone's running away from their home country to come here to be free from that, we shouldn't be reinvigorating that, talking about make America great again, everyone's Christian. That doesn't work that way. You're supposed to be able to have that fucking freedom. And sometimes they pass laws that are pro-Christian, but fuck everybody else. And that kind of mentality and ideology is exactly what they say they're against, but they're not. They're not when it comes to them. And that's what I don't like about that shit. It's cool to have an ideology and be like, cool, but be outright with it. It's that silver tongue Southern Baptist shit. Like, I can't stand that shit. You want something, say what you actually want. Don't pretend to be the good guy because you're with Jesus. You do and say shit that's crazy. People going and running away from your state to go get abortions because they're scared to go to jail for the rest of their life. That's fucking crazy. No, that's fucked up. That is fucking crazy. And that's from a goddamn... You know what I'm saying? The same exact shit. Like, that's from that kind of person. Like, I can't endorse that.
My main issue with him is that he's trying to fucking criminalize, like, you being in a car with an illegal immigrant.
Nigga, he's criminalized He's criminalized music being played loud. You can get pulled over and they can search your vehicle for it. They can ticket you and all that if you could get heard from more than 2 cars away. But what kind of fucking racist ass shit is that? Like
we know what it is, but
if you're a Kissimmee, everyone's going to jail. Like everyone's going to jail. We searching everybody, nigga.
The main reason I have a problem with the whole immigrant shit is because I work at a place where fucking immigrants work at, and it's like, okay, well, how the fuck does this fast food restaurant that hires immigrants gonna thrive in a place where this motherfucker criminalizes people for even associating with them? Mind you, immigrants pick up the deliveries to deliver it to the customers. So it's like, who's gonna then even deliver these deliveries when the immigrants are in jail?
Nobody.
Questions. The math ain't math. You know what I'm saying?
My thing is like the Miami is like the hub. Like this whole Cuba thing, like that happened mad long ago. Like obviously we've been friendly to immigrants and Cubans, Haitians, all the other people that went to Miami to like immigrate. So like you can't have both. You know what I'm saying? You just can't. You can't say I'm pro-immigrant, but we don't want your family coming here. And when you took the same people's land from their family that wants to come here, so the same family that wants to come here were the original people from here, and you're telling those people you can't come to our country because you bought it after you killed a bunch of their ancestors. Like that's like really fucked up. You know what I'm saying? And it's not that they have an issue with, you know, maybe they do have an issue with every single one of them, but they just, it's fucked up that they would have that mentality and not letting people in.
Posted a very creepy video of what appears to be a humming sound in Wyoming next to Yellowstone, and people are freaking out about it because they think that this might actually have something to do with Yellowstone going active. And this is the video. Check this out.
Oh, I thought that was just like some
background music.
Background music, yeah.
Nigga, they filming Stranger Things. Stop playing. Nah, man, that's kind of creepy.
It sounds weird.
What? Don't earthquakes or something make noises like that when it's about to?
I mean, they can.
Like a humming hum like.
But I guess it's just like, man, fucking beat. But it's just worrisome because of how big Yellowstone is. Like, if that bitch goes off, half the U.S. is getting covered in ash. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
we're done. If Yellowstone pops off, it's a wrap. If that shit sounds like that before the end of the world, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, just imagine you were like at work
and you just hear either Aaron's coming from you for you from Attack on Titans, or it's over.
The lava?
It's a wrap. I don't know. I'd rather die quick though. I'd say that. Hopefully that shit just incinerates me like instantly, and I'm just done. So it doesn't, you know.
Yeah, I don't want to suffer.
Take me out
like,
quick.
What if like you
John
were one of those
Wick
people that like you got stuck, but like it was just like your arm that got stuck in the lava, and you're just like it's sitting there.
Like you still got active parts that can survive. You're like, oh fuck, you missed me, nigga.
You're stuck burning like.
You just got like quarter of your body and shit. Just all the important shit is left over, like the Terminator and shit. Oh man, I'd be so mad. I'm like, God, what was the plan for me? Was I supposed to be fucking RoboCop? Because that's how you left me, nigga. Goddamn.
That's all man. Like I always say, like I can never survive. If I was like a vegetable, or not even a vegetable, but like if I was crippled, like if I didn't have like my arms.
But how do you feel about that when they say that God has a plan? Like what is the plan for them? You know what I'm saying? When you don't know. Like I don't know. What do you think, man? God has a plan for like crippled people. Like, what do you think? Like, you know, they always say God has a plan for you.
I do believe so.
So, like, what is the plan for people that like?
Not for me to know.
Okay, that's a good answer. Like, that was like a pastor answer right there. I was like, it's not for me to know, my child.
I feel like that was the same thing as I don't know.
Drink the communion wine and eat the cracker and take God into your body.
Who am I to be like? question God.
It's not question. I mean, we're not questioning.
But it is.
We're asking why
Questioning
to ourselves why. What is their plan?
Like I would assume maybe it has like something to do with like trying to see like.
I ain't asking God. I wouldn't ask him. That's rude.
You know what I mean?
Like why'd you put them in a wheelchair like that, God?
Like,
I'm not gonna ask that. I'm
but,
good.
I don't know, man. Like that shit. Like for me, like if there's just certain things I couldn't live without, like arms and legs and a dick.
Appendages.
Like they're just things that I have to have, or else I'm just rolling right off into the freeway. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't give a fuck. Like,
do you know how like, and me and Matt have had this conversation before, how like selfish that is?
What? To want to die? Cause
yes, I think he was saying. I remember one time we were talking about COVID vaccines.
Side effects, cerebral palsy.
And you know that was one of the side effects. And
Cerebral palsy.
He'd rather die.
Yeah, I'd rather
live
die
like that.
than live all. Yeah, I know that sounds vain, but like that's the truth. I'd rather be. Yeah, take me out. Take me out, coach.
No, you gotta think of your
Take me out, coach.
no, you think of like the suffering, yo, that you like.
Thank you.
That you're going through.
Like that you live.
Exactly. That, and you don't think that sounds selfish?
It's like hell no, I ain't trying to be alive for that shit.
So it's okay. I think that sounds selfish.
Can you slide me the? Can you
Like
slide
for
me
example, today I seen in the news about and it's dark, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, preface.
You gotta do something light after this.
Yeah.
No, this is gonna be like.
No, I'll find a way to throw some jokes in. You know what I mean? But
they're gonna have their weight.
there is this 2-year-old that was found inside the box.
No, okay.
My nigga, I mean, I prefaced it. It was found inside the mouth of a gator, right?
Oh yeah, I've seen that story.
And
that was terrible.
It was sad because they were looking for this kid for like the last 2 days. He just like miles away. They just ended up finding.
There's a key in there.
And it's
Oh.
just like, yo, this shit's crazy. Like, it's things that you'd almost like how does
a
happen?
person do that to somebody, especially their own child? Like that shit is crazy. That's that Casey Anthony shit. It was the father got arrested for feeding the kid to the gator.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident that it was the dad.
Damn.
That he fed it to the cops arrested a man after they found out that he fed the baby to the gator. Now I don't know if it was the father. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure it's the dad. But either way, like, who feeds a fucking kid to a gator?
Even if it was a complete stranger.
I mean, all right, there is only one way, and it's the Rick and Morty way that I would justify killing a kid, all right? If you came from the future and that kid had to die because he was a piece of shit in the future, maybe kid had to die.
I thought you were just gonna say masturbation.
No. Those are technically those kids have been unborn because they were never kids. It's like, yeah, it's not the same thing. They don't have the chemical makeup. They're missing the egg to be a kid.
These potentials.
No, I mean, like you could say we're eating dead kids when we eat scrambled eggs, but speaking of things weighing you down, when God comes at you, you just gotta accept Him. Like this person accepted this blanket.
I've seen that done a lot at church.
Yo.
Why you here with the weighted blanket though?
You remember when, see? You know what I'm talking about, right? See? You want me here? See? Gotta. And then, okay. When he would do that shit, like, or even joke. When he would, like, he'd be praying for you and he'd be, like, making you feel the spirit.
Yeah,
like,
they would be pushing you and you'd be like, damn, you're about to fall backwards.
Yes, nigga.
Like, yeah. No, but like I ain't never had somebody throw a fucking weighted blanket at me. Like that sounded like a bullet. Like y'all heard that smack? That grandma was like, "Pah!" You know what I'm saying?
She got osteoporosis.
She got hit by an NFL linebacker. Like that was how she got dropped. I'm like, yo,
it took her ass out.
If you held that blanket in your hands, felt the weight of it, how could you sit there in good faith? With the Holy Spirit inside you, because mind you are at church, you know what I'm saying? So you got the Holy Spirit, you know what I'm saying? Like,
doesn't necessarily mean you have the Holy Spirit.
Usually, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're supposed to. You know what I mean?
People have done crazy things in the name of God.
But you're supposed to be feeling the Holy Spirit.
Throwing weighted blankets kind of low level.
Blanket, and you just Hadouken this grandma. Like, I just don't want
Hadouken!
what God's plan was there.
To knock her old ass out.
Who's to say it was God's plan?
Everything's God's plan. That's what they say. They say everything is in God's plan.
We all have free will. You know what I'm
yes.
saying?
Yeah, that part.
Yeah, addendum. Asterisk.
One time, right, when I was in the Navy, me and my homie, we had this argument about, like, do we really have free will? Because he was like, well, how can we have free will if God knows the future and everything we've already done? That means if everything
maybe he just knows that it happened.
I don't think we have free will.
But in how
you don't think we have free will?
I don't think we do. I think it's
yeah, I think it's hard to believe
to us in that way, but I don't think we do because, like, I've been to church where, like, I've seen preachers, like, literally done throughout your life, like, oh, if, you know, I've seen, or it's been and God, I'm sorry if I'm, like, but it's been prophesized to me that, you know, if you don't accept Jesus Christ, you're going to turn that corner and you're going to... To me, at that point, it stops being an option because you're going to pick life over.
But then I don't know, because like the logical person in me thinks like if God has a plan, maybe he has a plan, but he's saying like it's open ended, like he has a plan, but it's up to you to take on to that plan.
When you're threatening my life.
But yeah, no, they wished death on me one time too. Because I remember I was visiting mom's church. I had just gotten out of the Navy, right?
You know that's what they do in like terrorist organizations too, right? They threaten your life, or you have to join.
But it's not always. It's not supposed to.
Join me now, or you shall die in the depths of hell.
That is not an option. You're not giving me an option.
I mean, you have an option.
That it's not though.
Depths of hell, or
that's not an option to me.
It's an option. I mean,
it's not. Who's gonna be being burned for eternity in hell? Well, I am kind of at this point because I'm not serving God. But who's gonna pick that over going to heaven? Like, it's not an option. It's presented to you as such, but I don't think it is.
I don't know. I think I think it's a game, and everybody's rules are different, and everybody views it through different lenses. But ultimately, the purpose and the meaning and the message is the same. So I think religion is a very crude way of trying to get you to understand the meaning of life and why you're here and all that good stuff and all that jazz and who made us and created us and all those good things. I think it's a beautiful thing, and it can be. But I think that you can't have faith and twist my arm at the same time.
You
just can't have both. But people try, and it doesn't work. Because if I'm actually in my heart believing, you never had to force me.
Well, faith requires sacrifice.
Yeah, but I have to have the faith. You can't give me the faith through force. Coercion is not faith. Coercion is fear.
No, of course. And I mean, that's
what
why
I'm saying. That's why to me, like when they do things,
it's fear. I hate that. That's what the part about religion that I'm like, I don't like that shit. But it's not that I don't like the religion or the purpose or the meaning or the word or none of those things. It's just that these niggas working at T-Mobile and shit. Like no,
like they don't have good.
And it's not service. Even like maybe who's to even say that they're his people. He might be like, I don't know them niggas. They just in that building saying they know who I am, but they don't know who I am really because they not even living their life how they say they living their life.
In Revelations, there's that part where Christ says like, I don't know them. Like y'all calling on me, but I don't know y'all. Like,
yeah, I will spit you out my mouth. That part, I don't know if it's in Revelations, but he's like, I will spit you out my mouth if you're lukewarm. Like he's not. So all you fake Christians that think you're going to get saved, like, you're going to die and burn in hell too. So wasting your life pretending to be something you're not is purposeless according to your own fucking book. So, like, don't be... I hate those holier than thou motherfuckers. I can't stand them because I'm like, you the first ones to burn. Like, if I gotta die, I hope I get to see you on fire first.
And that's
because I'd rather that.
Because I was talking to Mom about that. Like, even not about that per se, but even with... Like, literally, I had verbatim the same conversation with somebody at work. We were talking about, like, because me and Mom, I don't know what I know we were just talking about, like, different, different, what is that called? Denominations. And how, like, a lot of people believe that just Pentecostals are going to be the ones. And I'm like, my nigga, I can't believe.
So
it's very specific.
I can't believe, like,
like the Mormons, like only like 10,000 people make it. I'm like, only 10,000 though, like, and you think you're the one, Mr. Boy in the suit, like you're the one on the bicycle delivering the fucking word from David, like what? You're the one.
So I can't believe I can't like I don't know what we were talking about, and I was like I hear gospel music sang by like black people, and like that shit touches me in a level. Like spiritually and all that in a level that sometimes not even like Spanish Pentecostal songs still. And I can't believe that the world is just going to be made up of just Pentecostals. Like I have to honestly believe in a fair God that, you know, I feel like there's going to be a bunch of...
Not even just that, but like I also want to, like for example, right, there's niggas that I want to go to heaven that don't go to church. Myself included. You know what I'm saying? Like, but there's people out there like that I fuck with, that I'm like, I don't want you to burn in hell. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think you're a good person. Like,
you saw that video of that lady that was going off, that she's like, I'm trying to save your fucking life here. You fucking sinner, you're gonna fucking burn in hell. Remember that shit? Yeah, it's just, I'm trying to save your fucking life, you fucking sinner. I'm like, wow, like, how are you?
But, you know what I mean? Like there's people out, like, I think deserve to go to heaven for how good the people they are while they live here on earth, regardless of how their religious affiliation or their participation.
If they check that box or not. Like I don't think God's a box checker.
But
I don't think he's a box checker.
I just don't want to believe that God's just gonna be just like, no, only these, like, you know, or I don't know. It's just.
And do you think God is a they them person?
Fuck no.
God was very specific in when he made.
You know what's so weird too? Demons are the only ones in the Bible that speak in they them. They are the only ones that refer to themselves in the plural.
Aren't they like a legion? So
yeah.
When you say,
but like,
because they are one, basically.
And here are these people who are saying, "Yo, I am, you know, the opposite."
Beelzebub or whatever.
So you know what I mean? It's just something interesting to know. But not to be, you know, phobic and what. No.
I was like, I don't know if you wanted pizza or not, but I was getting hungry. I was like,
He totally went to like food.
I don't know. You're like,
that's on you. You told me to take edibles.
Can you slide me that? Can you slide me that out of the all?
Can you get the chips to the dip?
I can't because I'm mic'd of the up.
Huh?
I'm mic'd up. Okay.
Oh, you're mic'd up.
Yeah.
But
I can get the chips with the dips.
Y'all want to take a food break and then come back?
Nah. You can power through. We're like almost halfway. Almost halfway. All right.
You locked.
Speaking of knocking this out, let's knock this out with this face kick straight from the thunders of the Gave him the business. You saw his back? You saw his fucking back? Let's watch this again. Let's watch this again. Oh my God.
What'd you say?
Look at his reach. Muay Thai.
Look how flexible. Look how his spine bent back.
He pointed at him as he was down, like, "What, bitch? You don't want it, bitch?
But get this how foot." The ref tried to catch his head, so that he
tried to. Look at it. Yeah, he's like, "Don't fall on your head like that." That shit had to hurt. Oh my God.
Yo, what are you doing after you get knocked out like that?
I'm quitting. I'm straight up. It's over. Obviously, you
buy a gun.
What, for the dude that kicked you?
Fuck throwing hands. Like,
you gonna shoot the guy that kicked you? And
yeah, bro. You're not gonna knock me out like that, bro. No, not in front of my wife and kids. Like,
so,
that's crazy.
Speaking of the unbelievable, no foul play, and Rasheem Carter Sheriff said animals did the damage to the body. So they're claiming that.
Do you know about the case?
Nah,
so it's a guy who called his mother, said he was being hunted by some white men. Phone hangs up. Bro's never heard from again. They found his body. His body was decapitated.
Is he black?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, this is why I sent you my location, babe.
Fucking, he was decapitated. His penis was chopped off, stuck in his mouth.
Oh, man.
Fucking, chopped like into bits.
And
shit.
Animal did that to him. Animal they stuffing dicks in mouths. That's weird as fuck.
Apparently, this guy had a beef with his white boss, and
came at him with the Ku Klux Klan and shit.
Yeah, And now the cops are saying...
Where was this at?
Mississippi.
Oh.
So you
Say
all...
no more.
Yep.
Say no more.
And it's like... I felt like shit, you know what I mean? Like,
Ready
it's
for
because
next Saturday.
they're just... What?
Sorry.
But,
Yeah, that's crazy.
I saw Mississippi got hit with a tornado, so I was like, you know what, at least, like...
That's insane.
But...
What was... Did they say what the issue was with the boss? Not that it matters, but...
Honestly, I don't recall. I think it was just like some racist shit. Just, you know what I mean? He didn't fuck with him because he was black.
And it was, you said it was already, the body was already, and they couldn't identify who he was.
Well, I mean, I think the family was able to identify him because of his head. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was literally decapitated. And I think the top of his skull's missing too. So...
It sounds like some satanic shit.
Yeah, like they literally the family couldn't get the when they got the body back, that's how they got the body back.
Wow.
In bits. And so for the cops to say no foul play, you know.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, Dick Chopper Express was what, you know, he's a Dick Chopper animal.
In his mouth.
Yeah, that's how
body
you.
parts spread everywhere, and it's not foul play.
Mm-hmm. No, it was a deer,
and now, you know, and the police have the
grab dicks all the time.
I wonder why we don't trust them.
It's bullshit, man.
Like, why people say fuck the cops, or all cops are bastards and fucking shit like that. It's because of this.
It's so fucking bullshit. Lying to people, telling them that shit happened a certain way when you know for a fact there's no fucking way that could possibly happen. Well, speaking of crazy shit, fish falling from sky. Now, I've seen stories like this before, and there are some scientific reasons as to why it could happen. But it's very eerie to see some shit like this. You know what I'm saying? I think the explanation is like a typhoon.
Yeah,
a typhoon carries it, and then it like falls in the sky from the atmosphere. But it's still very like strange. Like back in the olden days, there'd be like it's like a prophet from God, like God's doing it because these fish fell from the sky, and then it's very, you know, it's ominous or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I found it funny because I hadn't remembered a couple of weeks ago we were talking about you know, the Hebrews and how God gave them manna, and I was like, you know, imagine like if you're one of the Jews and, you know, you're getting constantly bread, you're like, Lord, bread again, like, can we get the meats? Like, imagine God was just hooking you up with the fishes. Just like,
so every once in a while we'll have a meat parade and just pick up all these fish and just throw them at you. You know,
Friday surf and turf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fish fry. Fish fry Fridays. God was trying to hook us up. What's this one about? I don't even know.
So this is about the protests in France. I don't know if y'all know about why people are protesting in France.
I don't know.
But they raised the Social Security age from 63 to 67 or something like that. Mm-hmm. So people... Which
is our current in this country is 67.
Yeah. People rightfully got pissed and they started storming the streets. And now the police are joining the protesters.
Yeah, because... Like they want you to basically be near death, but pay your entire life into something that you can't have access to, and they tell you like it's a requirement, but you're propping up some other shit. And then the craziest part is that the rightists be like, oh, we got to cut Social Security. We don't need to have it if we're not going to use it for its intended purpose. Like if we want to have our own accounts. And we want to say, hey, I want to socially secure myself. I'll subscribe to whatever your dollar amount, kind of like Netflix. Say, okay, I want police service, all this, and I subscribe to it. But that doesn't work either. So I get that you have to have some portion of my money for you, but I should be able to invest what I want to into myself. You shouldn't be able to tell me that you're going to take a certain amount of money from me because I make a certain amount to pay into something that I never really have access to. That's fucked up.
I don't know if y'all have seen, but not that long ago, the government said that by around 2030,
we're gonna run out of money.
We're gonna run out of Social Security money.
Allegedly. So, it's funny. You know what's funny about that? We always run out of Social Security money, but we never run out of money for the government or for the military.
But they're simply saying, hey, by 2030, there's just be no Social Security money.
Okay, then stop taking my Social Security money. Fuck.
Like, so I'm gonna continue working until 2030, and then you're gonna tell me in 2030, hey, all that money that you deposited is just not there no more.
But our money that they're taking right now doesn't pay for ours. It pays for people that are eligible for that at that point. Like, ours will get paid when these young kids start working, and you know what I mean? Like, so it's not even...
Luck with that.
Exactly. So it's not even that my money that's being taken out of my hard work paycheck is going into an account for me. It is going in an account to pay for mom. I love you, mom. To pay for mom's Social Security, to pay for dad's Social Security, to pay for all these people that are against Social Security right now. That's not fair. Nigga, stop that shit. Like, cut it off. Cut that shit off now. Give me my, is it like $50 that you take away from me a week? Give that shit to me right now. Like, I'm not going to see that shit.
It makes me mad when, like, Israel gets, like, $10 billion or some shit in U.S. aid every year.
Shit.
Like, they got no problems over there. Their streets are beautifully lit and everything is all, like, gorgeous over there. But then we over here, like, got chemicals in our water, can't get shit fixed, fucking possibly even not have Social Security.
No, there's there's no way we'll have Social Security by the time we retire.
I know, but, you know what I mean, I'm trying to keep a positive outlook.
That powerful.
Fucking, you know what I mean, like, we have an impending war, and not even just an impending war, but an economic war, because now they just changed the petrodollar to the new Russian currency. So now that's going to deface our shit over the next, like, couple months. Like, you got food factories, all this shit burning down. Like, it's absolute pandemonium. And it comes to that question, like, at what point do we stop working? When is it the day where we're like, you know what?
Yeah, but clearly, these niggas are like, they're not that stupid. Everything is tied to money. Like, there's no way I could feasibly be like, hey, I'm not gonna work today because I'm gonna boycott the government.
Debt is the new slavery.
Yeah. Huh?
Debt is the new slavery.
Yeah.
I mean, but what I'm saying is that, like, right, if there's gonna be no tomorrow, let's say, right, like the dollar devalues, and now you can't even pay rent because that dollar doesn't even matter, right? You know what I'm saying? Or you can't buy groceries, you can't put shit to eat. Like, what happens then? You know what I'm saying?
That's gonna be a bridge that we're gonna have to cross and find out. Cause
I mean, yeah, it's gonna.
I can't sit here and dwell on that. Like, I still gotta work. I still gotta pay bills. I still gotta take care of my son by myself. Like, I can't be like, you know, this is what's gonna happen in 20 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now. Let me stop working now and, you know, boycott. I can't. Like, there's. And that's where the government's like, they're smart. They're not gonna.
They make it so you have no.
You have no choice. You have no choice in the matter.
Mm-hmm. Shit, even taking 5 days of vacation was fucking hard for me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but check was like $150.
Yeah.
Right. Right. $150 and then $0. So.
But
and this is a company that I've invested almost 6 years of my life to. God knows how many years Matt has invested in it. How many days, how many missed parties, how many missed times with, like, our kids to invest this time in this company.
Well, and that's what I was telling my homegirl Heidi the other day when we were at work. I'm like, you know, say something happens, right? Say it's the end of the world. Say the mothership gets here. Say Russia throws a nuke. Any of these variables that are literally present at this day, right? Like, saying these things happen, it's like, all I'll think about is all the fucking time I wasted at that restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
All being some fucking superhero for somebody that didn't give a shit about me. Like, not even as a human being enough to give me 1 day a week off. Right? The 1 day I needed. Right? But all the times that I would have missed with Isaiah, with you, with Mom, with Lewis and Neff over there, like, just locked away and to something that was never going to reciprocate what I was going to put into it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that part sucks. Like, I totally get it. Like, but, like, I get the we have to make money now, even despite all this shit going on. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, what would be so? Remember earlier I said, what was the line that the person crossed? You know what I'm saying? What would be the line that would make us be like, you know what, man? That's it.
We would all have to stop working. There was that movie, A Day Without a Mexican. We'd all have to be like, you know what? Until you fix it, we're not going back to work. And you can cut our lights off. But the issue is that the society can't sustain itself that way. Like, they can't function without internet. If they cut our Wi-Fi off, electricity.
We can live with. Yo, there are people who.
No, what I'm saying, what I'm saying is that we can and we're able to do it. It's just that people won't. They won't do it. Yeah, they'll be uncomfortable with it. They'll be like, "Oh no, I can't. I gotta go to work because."
Do you just take a complete and total break from your phone? The only time, if I'm being completely honest, is when I'm sleeping.
Yeah.
I'm in the bathroom, I'm with my phone. I'm in my room doing nothing, I am with my phone. I'm at work getting paid, I am with my phone. There's no way in life. Like it's not that I couldn't, it's just that I don't want to. And like I said, the only time when I'm not hooked on some sort of technology doesn't even have to be my phone. I spend my free time playing PlayStation. Like if I'm not like with Matt, with hanging out, there's always a form of technology. So it's
and it's
people go nuts.
It's part of transhumanism. It's why we're so disconnected from nature.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And it sucks because it's like, should something happen and like for example, right, like an EMP, the power grid goes down and we go back to like the old world,
Gotta use your actual brain instead of your fucking smartphone, and now you realize how stupid people are.
Well, not even just that, but it's like I'm so dependent on a GPS that like
contacts on your phone. The only people I know phone numbers to are my mom and my dad. That is it. I don't know anyone else's number. I don't have them written down. Mm-hmm. Nothing. So if something like that were to happen, not that the telephones would work at that point, but I would be fucking screwed. Like I barely know how to get to Matt's house, let alone.
I know how to get to your house. It would be a long trek to get to your house. But I have an idea.
It's like technology is so infused into life now. Mm-hmm. It's like.
Yeah, you can't. It's like you can't live without it.
It's air to us.
Pretty much. As sad as that fucking sounds.
All right, this is a video of people talking about.
We could just skip this
one.
one.
Skip this one, okay? Because it didn't seem too crazy important.
No, it was just about women refusing.
This is
nuts.
This is pretty fucked up. All right, let's bring this back. I'm gonna play this whole thing to its fruition.
I hate my wife, but I may never get a chance to divorce her. Before you jump down my
I don't know if it's legit,
give
but
some backstory to this
it seems legit.
I, 28 male, have my wife, Amber, 28 female, and we've been married for the last 10 years.
Wife video.
Today, I woke up in the morning, grabbed her out of bed, showered her, wiped her ass, fed her, and
I think you're out the view.
Favorite show playing.
So it goes
My
right
wife,
to here.
For all intents and purposes, is a shell, a body of the person that she used to be. A year and a half ago, my wife got into a tragic car accident. She got hit in a T-bone collision going 75 while running a red light. I stopped loving my wife 2 months ago.
Did he say I stopped loving my wife?
I don't remember thinking it was because she was in a vegetable state. No, that was not it. I still love my wife inside of that state and took care of her every single day. I still take care of her every single day. The reason I hate my wife was because of what I found in her phone. I was going to do a collage of our relationship and put it inside of our room to show how commemorative we are together. All the trips we took together, all the places we have been, everything we have visited on my dime because I loved her and I cared for her and I wanted her to have the best things in the world. Well, when I went into her phone, I kind of saw some messages from the exact day of the accident. It pretty much was, hurry up, where are you? I need you right now. I'm on the way. I love you. I had trouble getting away from him. Who's him? I'm him. I looked at the phone and I was shocked. I've never seen this name before, but after scrolling through the messages, I saw pictures, I saw videos, I saw things that I couldn't even get her to do with me. In Barbados, I couldn't even get her to do with me. In Japan, I'm sitting there like, wait, we went all over the world, and you did this next door? You did this down the street? You did this a block away? Okay, this is ridiculous. So I had to see who the man was. I had to find him. I had to know who was this great man. And I went to his page and I saw he was inside of a relationship. He got into a relationship 2 days after my wife's accident, after the lady that he was smashing on got put into a military situation, got vegetabilized. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Somebody that loved you with all of their heart, that will take care of you every single day while you were sick, you don't love, you're not there for, you won't do these things for, but somebody that will leave you 2 days after your accident, somebody that won't give a second fuck if you're okay after your accident, that's the person you love? So you know what her favorite show is? Every single day, I sit her down in front of the TV and I show her that he didn't give a fuck about her. And I make her watch as he...
Nigga hurt.
Hey, he hurt. He out here fucking.
I understand, like, I mean, just think about it. Because if in a typical situation, right? Like, let's say your partner you were to find out your wife's cheating on you, right? You would just divorce. You would just break up. That would be it, right? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But he doesn't have that choice because, in a sense, his wife got into a car accident, and now he's his wife's caretaker.
I mean, he does have a choice, though. He could leave her ass. He can still leave her all vegetabilized. He can leave her looking like a cucumber. He ain't got no type of...
Yeah, he could do that.
He cares about her. That's the issue.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but think about it. He wasn't the one that was cheating. He got married and did his job as a husband, which was to love his wife through thick and thin, through, you know, in sickness and in health. And his wife was the one that was getting...
Yeah, but we're only getting his side of the story now. Not to bring that... It's like...
But his wife was the one that got caught cheating. His wife was the one that got on the way to the side piece's house, got into an accident, and is now in this vegetative state. You know what I'm saying? Not him. So even if he did cheat, at least he didn't get into a car accident. You know what I'm saying? At least he didn't put that on her. You know what I mean?
But if he wasn't like you can't. I don't like passing judgments on situations like that when I only know one side of the story. Like it's not.
No, I get that, but from the one side of the story, we clearly see this nigga's hurt.
Yeah, but
for a reason.
Of course he would be. Would you not be though?
Hell yeah. If my wife was getting dog dicked by some other nigga, and then I went through but again, if I went through her phone, and saw the shit that she was saying to him, and I've been in that situation before, which is why I'm telling you that shit hurts. Mm-hmm. I'll even give you.
I'm not doubting it does.
No. But what I'm saying is,
what show is he showing her every night? Because he cut off. What show is he showing her? He's probably putting on cheaters.
But
you watching the dirty bitch? He's like,
the drool coming out.
You dirty bitch!
Let me go get you a pamper. Fuck.
Oh man.
I feel for him because, like, in a typical situation, like if
of course you would, like the way he recounted the story, yes.
No, but I'm saying like it would be, it would be typical to just be like, you know what, this is the end. But instead, like now there's this tragic incident where your wife, who you've just now found out,
you don't have to take care of her. That's something that he took upon himself. Mm-hmm. He could have very well left her in one of those homes where they take care of you type situations. You literally chose to take care of your wife purposely to sit here and torture her with whatever you're making her watch, reminding her of the fact that the person that you cheated on him with is...
Hey, you broken bitch! You broken, handicapped, vegetable bitch! Watch this shit!
But he clearly wasn't that upset until he went through her phone.
Of course.
That was what. You know what I mean? Yeah. Not even him finding out that his wife was cheating on him.
He was mad that he wanted the dog to stop. And she was like, nah.
What did he see? What did he see? He must have like
that part.
Put in her butt or something.
That part.
Had a video and he just like, not my wife.
No, not even that. Not even that. Not my wife. Not the thing that I asked her for, and she said no to, but said yes to this nigga. That's what he said. Mm-hmm. He said it was something.
That she wouldn't do for me in Barbados.
Exactly.
I took this bitch to Barbados.
To China.
Not to Japan. She wouldn't suck my dick like that. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, to me, it wasn't a deed done that says, damn, even though my wife cheated on me, I'm gonna take care of her. Nah, nigga, I'm gonna take care of you, and I'm gonna go torture you for the rest of your life with this video, whatever it is that he's showing her, because we don't know what it is.
He probably got a video of her sucking the nigga's dick. You suck my dick like that? You ain't sucking that much the straw, you bitch. And I left the fucking blankets off. I know you cold. I see the goosebumps, ho. I know you done pissed on yourself 3 times. Hope it smells like your dirty ass, cheating ass. Pussy does, motherfuckers.
His own personal revenge. Like.
Yeah. Nigga literally gave her hell, yeah. I don't agree with her doing what she did to the dude, because obviously that's fucked up. But but at the same time, it's like, my guy.
I don't feel bad.
You should put her in a nursing home or something, bro.
Exactly. You purposely said, yeah, I'm gonna take care of you. Nobody told you. Like, it's not a law that you have to take care of her.
It's not a law. It's just his vows. Like, he took before God.
Yeah,
After all this that he done said, you gonna talk about his vows, nigga?
Alright, speaking of crazy shit, let's hear this one. I know this is crazy because I heard it already, but it's funny to hear it again.
Does TikTok access the whole Wi-Fi network? Only if the user turns on the Wi-Fi. I'm sorry, I may not understand that. So if I have a TikTok app on my phone and my phone is on my own Wi-Fi network, does TikTok access that network? It will have to access the network to get connections to the internet, if that's the question. Is it possible then that it could access other devices on that home Wi-Fi network? Congressman, we do not do anything that is beyond any industry norms. I believe the answer to your question is no. It could be technical. Let me get back to you. Okay, I appreciate it if you can answer that. Does TikTok access the home Wi-Fi network?
Not connect. Access the same information if I turn off the Wi-Fi?
What do you mean? To your network at your home? No.
And just use the data?
No, the network is what you connect to get to the internet. So the network that you connect to at home would be connected to any devices that you have in your home network. So if I'm on the TikTok app, I can see what other devices are on the network by default. That's common computer technology knowledge. Like my iPhone knows that my computer is connected, and my Oculus knows that my phone is here and that I can receive messages when I'm using my Oculus. So it's normal, and you have to allow it to have access to the device on your network.
Turn off the Wi-Fi?
No, because you're accessing a cellular network. It's a whole different network. Just the same reason why. No, I mean, like, when it comes to cellular networks, it's through the cell phone, but that cell phone is not connected to anything else except for what's connected to that cellular network.
They're not connected to the towers that somehow?
Well, the tower is connected to the overall internet itself. The internet is connected to... The internet is literally a connection of networks. So there's a home network that we have here that we're using to use the Wi-Fi, but then there's a cellular network that they send a broadcast to that you get information so you can communicate to each other. They are all interconnected in some ways, shape, or form, but your own home network is supposed to be secure from every other network. So there's a network, then there's the modem. The modem gets the internet connection, connects to the router sends out that signal, and everything in your home network connects.
So now is there a way for us to be like, hey, I don't want to share this information?
Yes, yeah. But generally that means you're not using that app. Just like when you're like, hey, will you allow it to connect to other, or you're not using some portion of that app, some feature, if you will. So you're basically saying, hey, if you want to share your photos, it'll ask like what photos you want to share, all your photos or some of them. It works the same way with your network. Do you want to be able to discover devices on the network? And you hit yes, then yes, you could discover devices on the network, but Microsoft does it so that it knows that my phone got a text message. Say I'm like on my computer all the time and I work, and I want to know like what's on my phone, but I don't want to look at my phone. I just want to see it pop up on my screen. I have to give it permission to be on the network to look at the other devices. Now TikTok generally I don't believe should need any of that information about what devices are on your network, but it does need information to access the network. That's how a network works. But when it accesses the network to get to the internet, it doesn't necessarily connect to the other devices in that it's communicating directly to them. It can or should be able to ping the other devices and know what other devices are on the network, but that's normal. If I get on anyone's network, I can hit ping and see what other devices will ping me back. Generally, it's set to default that it doesn't ping you back, so you won't know what's on the network, but you can ask the information. It's
Even
not
if, for
uncommon.
example, right? Like the TikTok is accessing some extra information that I may not particularly want them to. Like at some point, it's like
They all
I
are,
don't
though.
give a shit though, because
Yeah, they all are,
for
honestly.
Facebook, just to even use Messenger, I had to give up the right for Facebook
To read your text messages, your
that,
photos,
to turn on my
location,
camera,
your camera,
and
my microphone.
24/7, even when it's not being used in Messenger, and it's like.
And this is
what the
common,
fuck?
and that's why the dude said, like, this is common industry norms of what we're asking for permission for. And it does tie into the fact that it needs some of those resources to do certain things that you want to have features for. So it's stupid to be like, hey, does it access the home network? He should have said yes, and every other app that is a social media app uses the same exact features. So when he said industry norms, yeah, that's what he's saying. He's saying they all do this. You're coming for us, though. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's stupid. And it's crazy that they want to pass a bill where they can restrict all this shit and say, hey, you can't access it. And they don't understand the common fundamentals of it. Like, if you're on a network with someone else, I can ping you to see if you're on the network. I have an app right now that I can pull up my own private network and see who's connected to my router. All these devices are connected to my router. And that information is normal. That's a normal thing. You get on a network, you can ping anything on the that network, unless it's a specific network.
How old and out of touch
They are, yeah, they're fucking horrible with that shit, bro.
And that's why I say, like, it's, you know, I never seen this much of a reaction to an app possibly getting banned. Like,
nah,
the
dude.
first time before when they were talking about banning TikTok, people were like, damn, that would suck. But, like, I think TikTok was still pretty new back then, so it wasn't, like, as big
as detrimental. Now it's like you can look up
But-
recipes on TikTok. You can fucking find out how to do survival skills on TikTok.
Not
Shit
just
like
that,
that.
but people are making a living through TikTok. There are people out there that before did not have a way of means of making money. People that were were either homeless or, you know, working some shit part time. They found some niche on TikTok. They found an audience, and now they're making money. And now it's like, what do you mean you're gonna shut this shit down? Like, this is my bread maker. Like,
Yeah, a lot of people are making revenue that way. A lot of
shit,
people.
we were trying to make money off of TikTok. You know what I mean? Like, that's why we started this pod, and that's why I make the fucking clips, the fucking posts on that shit, because we're trying to garner attention, garner the audience, so that we essentially get sponsors and make money. You know what I'm saying? But if you take the fastest avenue for us to make money and reach our target audience, what do you think that would do to the content creators worldwide? Like, how that would affect?
They don't care about that. It's all about them
they
for
don't-
money.
they
It's
don't-
all about them
of
for
course,
money.
They don't care about the content creators. But what I'm saying is that the content creators, they affect the industry. They influence. So if that's why when they made that talk about banning TikTok, people started one-starring Facebook, because it's like, bitch, just because y'all threatening to take TikTok away don't mean we finna go back to Facebook. We're still gonna stay on. If we don't have TikTok, well, fuck Facebook too. Then I don't want this shit. Like, that's how people are out there feeling. You know what I mean? Because they're the younger, you know, Gen Zers that came up strictly just through TikTok. Or their money comes from that. You know, but it's.
So what is this? The video.
A white lady in Mexico.
Oh.
Speaking English. Getting chastised.
Well.
In Mexico, you have to speak Spanish, okay? Go back to your country.
Well.
So when you come to Mexico, you gotta speak Spanish.
Oh, okay.
Speak Spanish, okay? Go back to your country.
Well. How the turntables.
Yeah, when you go to somebody else's country, you can't get mad at them because they won't speak your native tongue.
Nah, man,
you can't get mad at them.
Country and expect to get treated like an American. No, like go to
not
America.
even like you can't go to another country and be like, why aren't you treating me like how I'm used to be treated? Like you're not in your country.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Like that's how it worked. If I went to Africa, I wouldn't expect them to treat me like I'm African because I'm an American. They're gonna treat me like a fucking American, and not even more so. I can't expect them to speak my dialect because I'm in their region. Like. They don't have to accommodate me with my culture. Like, that's their culture. I'm going to experience it. I either need to be well educated on how to do so, like people that live there, or I expect that. Like, you can't just go there with demands, and I hate that shit. Then they have to cater so they can make money, and it's the obligation is then on them. But the people that live there, like, I can't get mad at you for not speaking English, nigga. They gotta send somebody here that speaks English if they know they have English customers, for instance. But if I went, you gotta go see the site, tourists go there, but it's hosted by the natives, like, that's their shit, not mine. Fuck.
A bougie white bitch.
Nah.
Bougie as fuck.
And even if you did, and the language was, even if she spoke the language and it's cool. If she's a fucking asshole, they don't have to deal with it just because you're there.
But damn, like on the other side, like I see mom, even though mom and dad like chose to not learn, like I would feel some sort of way if like they went to a store, you know what I mean? Like because mom has had those occasions that like and I would.
That's why I love when white people get it back. Because all the time.
But I hate that shit. It's racist as fuck. Is what it is. Like I feel like if you can communicate to the person, you should try to.
You should try to. I mean, I don't do it.
But at the same time, like you shouldn't treat them like they're less than a human being because they don't know your language. Yeah.
Remember you know what I'm saying? That old white man called you a spick over the handicap parking spot?
I do remember that.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the first time in my life.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know, I was like 20, 21 maybe. Not probably younger because I think I had just got my license. And I've never in that amount of years been called a spick, been called anything racial like that. And that nigga called me a fucking spick over a fucking handicap parking space. Now, mind you, my dad was in the car, so it wasn't like I do now. Like, I use a handicap spot for everything. So it wasn't even that. My dad was literally in the car with me. We were using his handicap. Because,
Yeah.
And then the nigga called me a fucking spick. Because he did not see the handicap sign. Like, never in my life. But again, like,
he was about to be really handicapped that day. Because
it was pretty bad.
They had to stop me from getting out the car and beating the shit out of that motherfucker.
But again, like, I mean, it's so in a case like that, again, like, we're just getting, like, that little bit of clip. Like,
no,
you don't know the context of what happened. But I've had situations, I still remember, like, when mom used to go to Turkey Hill and play, like, her lottery, and the lady that would wait on her, I don't know if you remember her, that white girl named Erica, would wait on her and would treat her differently or treat her ignorantly or whatever because mom couldn't, communicate what she wanted. Like, I don't feel like you should make somebody feel, and that goes for white people as far as Spanish people or whatever.
I see what you're saying, but I'm not above it. I'm not like one of those like, oh well, it happened to us, but you're
grouping like all white people into being
maybe
Karens, and that's not fair.
It's not.
Your best friend is white, nigga.
But at the same time, I don't mind when white people get the business that they gave us. Like, even if it's just like a little sliver of it.
I was watching.
Listen, literally,
but
like, all she told her was,
speak some Spanish, bitch.
That's all she really told her.
I was watching a comedy monologue, and he was saying like, and he's right. It's not fair to associate every white person to what happened. Yes, what happened, is terrible, but it's not fair to associate somebody who had nothing to do with that with. Like how is it fair? Okay, treat the people that own slaves and the people that like that, but you can't now. But it's not fair to treat somebody who's like never treated a black person that way. Respect everyone the same way. That way because their ancestors who they have no fucking.
You're speaking of like the ideal white person, but like realistically,
no, I mean,
there aren't too many of those.
That's not true.
That is, I mean, okay, maybe you know like plenty of ideal white people, but even like the white people that like I associate with and I'm friends with still do fucked up white people shit.
Nigga, you do like fucked up like. No. Nigga, no. Like that's.
I'm just saying, like even like. Brought him onto the pod. First chance he got, he said nigger. And you know how uncomfortable that fucking was? And we had to just brush that over and continue the pod. And like we didn't want to just jump this white man.
Was it hard R? Was it hard
R?
Nigger! Like that? Oh, God.
Like, and he was
but it's not fair to associate all white people
no,
like that whole
it's
day.
not. But what I'm saying is, though, like in this case,
because I was trying to go with what Trump says about all Mexicans are rapists. Like, not all Mexicans are rapists. Like, you can't socialize and
they're not even big enough to rape like that. No, it's fine.
But what I'm saying is, like, this is like a small microcosm of what white people have done to us for the longest.
That, but they have this.
So
is this particular
there won't be no
white
tears
lady,
on my face.
Is this particular white lady respond like? Did you say that? Did you hear about the anchor lady who got for 20 years? She got fired.
Oh yeah, she got fired. Because she quoted Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, but they were talking about something. But again, like I was watching The Breakfast Club, and Charlamagne was saying like, and it's true. Most white people aren't like educated or really know. Like the lingo, like the language, the lingo. Honestly speaking, if I'm gonna be honest, I didn't know that for Shizzle my Nizzle meant nigger. Like I didn't know that. But that's what Charlamagne said. Charlamagne said that it meant nigger.
He's like, for showman. Like it's just abbreviated.
Yeah, but for Shizzle,
for sure, my nigga.
Yeah,
there was a
show my nigga
hip hop where they just nizzled every like H to the Izzle. You know what I mean? Like that was.
If you're experienced in hip hop, you would know that for Shizzle my Nizzle. But her quoting literally what Snoop is saying, and she's not actually saying the words. She's saying it like as a term of endearment. I don't think is
not at all. Like she was.
It wasn't that bad, egregious of a moment.
Yeah, all you nizzles are dirty little nizzles. Like she wasn't like that. Like it wasn't literally. She said. For Shizzle my Nizzle, like she didn't say it fucked up.
It's just a white woman who just didn't know what she was saying.
But Martha Stewart, I'm pretty sure Martha Stewart said for Shizzle my Nizzle.
If you don't speak urban, then don't be talking urban on live TV.
You know, there's that. But she's 20 years deep, bro. She could have been said some racist shit. It's been 2 decades. I that's fucked up. I feel it's fucked up. I don't
know.
It's fucked up. It feels like wokeism at its finest. Like you firing this white lady for saying for Shizzle my Nizzle.
I don't think that's a fireable offense.
Nah.
But if you know the times, you kind of know. Like for example, I know I would not cut it out on TV. I just
no filter.
No filter. So I would never put myself in a position where like this is like
maybe it was like a spontaneous thing. Like they were talking. What I forget the context because they were talking about something specific. I think it was Martha Stewart. They were talking about something with Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg.
Yeah,
and she was literally. But I don't think it was something. Like I don't think it was.
I didn't hear Snoop Dogg say anything about it. So it's like, how are we gonna be outraged for Snoop and black people?
But I think think we're in a period in this world where
everybody's really sensitive and getting canceled.
Exactly. So
well, not
anything
just
like
that, but people get offended on other people's behalf. So even if the person isn't offended, someone else
not
is
even
get offended.
the people that own that television studio are not black. I can almost guarantee you they're not black.
100%.
So how are you mad for black people?
Because
like,
they
I'm
want to get
confused.
canceled, my nigga, because they don't want to like. And it's not fair. It's not fair. Like you said, she invested.
That's some wokeism shit, nigga. That's some
life.
stupid shit. Like she said what this nigga said, and she didn't say it like in any type of mean or derogatory way.
No.
She's never had no issues before. That's some whoever you are, white lady. We need to bring you back because you ain't do nothing.
I'm just saying. That's all.
Get a podcast. Safe for Shizzle my Nizzle to start the shit.
Though,
like
that we live in
you and Snoop should get a podcast together.
You gotta watch every single word you use. Like
Bullshit.
even with like this whole trans shit, you have to watch every single way how you talk.
Why
they them there got a fucked up mind.
Why do you think I didn't want to talk about the trans shooter? Because I was gonna come in hot.
Hey.
Earth Day, whatever.
But it's crazy. Like you sit here. You sit here, we still have a constitution, even though, like, I feel like it's all how you go about, like, saying it, you know what I mean? Because I watched the clip, and from the way she said it, she didn't say it in a malice way. She didn't say it in a way to demean, black people. She just, it was just something that the conversation flowed to that way. Like, it wasn't something that she, went out of her way to make, whatever. So it's like for you to sit there and fire her for that.
It's like for example, right? Like, sometimes people they proactively want to react to some shit, right? Mm-hmm. So for example, like the second this shit came out, right, the clip, it got posted online. People started seeing it. So these motherfuckers were like, well, how are we gonna react to it? Do we just let it slide, or what if people get offended? This shit gets shared throughout social media. Then all of a sudden people look at us like, well, we didn't do nothing about it. So instead,
I know, and I get it.
Let's just.
But again, I feel like it's all how it was delivered. Like, again, she did not say that in a malice way.
Well, yeah,
she didn't go.
In an ideal world, you would be judged by fair, It's like off cam. Some of the things that we've talked. In a fair world, you would be judged a certain way, but that's not the way it works. It's all about perception and. The optics of things. How do things look to the next person
How is it going to affect my
who
money?
doesn't give a fuck about you, but because of their dollar is important to you, you need to make sure you know.
But then, again, I feel like they jumped the gun way too quick. Like, that bitch wasn't even allowed a reaction.
But I guess it's for this pod, because I don't want to after that.
What?
I don't want to. dig myself a deeper grave.
Yeah, nigga, you're probably already canceled at this point.
Probably, but I mean, I probably should be canceled every week. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. You got any closing remarks, Matt?
Mind your motherfucking business, bitches.
Jeez.
And your gender is not my choice.
Where's this at?
And watch your dogs, and the government's lying to you, and fuck everybody that believes otherwise. I mean, that's all I have.
And don't say for Shizzle my Nizzle.
Don't say for Shizzle my Nizzle. If you're quiet,
if you value your job.
learn how to speak Spanish. If you're in Spanish countries, bitch, you were racist. You getting it back. That's pretty much all I have. Aliens are real.
What about you, Kat?
No, I already said it. Don't say Shizzle my Nizzle.
Yeah, that was it.
That'll be the end of your job.
Contribution?
Yes, nigga.
Fuck. Fucking yeah. So as you can see, this is the podcast.
Is that all you had to say, Jose?
I said plenty this whole podcast.
You did.
But
for Shizzle my Nizzle.
anyways, highly offensive. episode 12. We appreciate y'all support. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Appreciate y'all fucking with us and continue to fuck with us. We're gonna continue to keep dropping heat. You know what I mean?
Where's that at?
We'll see you every 2 weeks on Saturdays. Try to drop the clips and the pod as fast as possible. A part of me, if it takes a little time. Sometimes I'll be tired. I'm busy working. Got my own life and shit. But you know what I mean?
Still
gonna keep trying for y'all. So make sure that y'all hold us up so that we can, you know what I mean?
He's sitting here trying to
quit our jobs.
Sound like you trying to get elected or something, nigga. It's the whole speech.
I mean, I'm election eligible. You know what I mean?
You're what?
You only gotta be 35 to be president. But what you gonna call it?
35?
Yeah.
That bar is low.
I mean, we should be though, because all the old fucks are in it. But anyways, yo, just stick to your guts. Yo, trust your instincts in life. Yo, it will take you further than you know what I mean you can imagine. And enjoy life, yo. Take some edibles, take a couple shots, fucking live it up. Go get you some buns. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and
some
on that note.
Why on that note? Like, of all the things that we've said,
note,
we talk about some buns, and all of a sudden we're done. We're fucking
on that note,
shut it off.
That's a wrap. That's a
We know what you
wrap.
about to do.